A couple of days ago, my uncle died. He passed away. So he was ill, and it was not a surprise that the news of his death was not a surprise. And anyways, all of us we have to go at one point or the other. So obviously, I attended the funeral. He was a very close person to me in my life. I knew him very well, the husband of my aunt. So I told myself that I was not I was just sitting there in the funeral, and the body was in the center of the room, and everyone was reading Quran and making du'as and all of that. Then at some point I felt emotional, and I felt like I just thought of my grandmother who passed away last year, and I just felt her presence. It's very strange, but I was not I told myself that I would not be crying, that this is just normal. But then I got emotional, and I went and I cried in a room because I thought of my grandmother, how much she loved me, how much I love her and always will. And I felt her presence very near to me, like I can't explain it, but I just felt like she's there. I've always felt her presence ever since she died. I know that she's here somewhere, and she knows, like, her spirit, her soul. So while observing funerals, you see lots of things in people around you. You see people sad, crying, humble, and perhaps repenting. When people make du'as, they make these speeches, they talk about, they implore God to forgive us for our mistakes. They tell you to forgive the person who has passed away for whatever things he or she might have said or done that were hurtful. So just forgive the person, let them go peacefully, so that Allah also is gentle with them, inshallah. So all that is very relevant, and it makes sense. But I don't understand why do people not think every single day in their lives, including I myself, why do we keep repeating the same sins and mistakes over and over again? Why do we keep hurting others? Why do we keep committing shameful, indecent things with our tongues, hands, or whatever organ we might have, our brains, our hearts? Why do we keep it's only when someone dies that we have a reminder that I'm going to die one day? Why don't we think every time we pray that this might be our last day on earth, and we have so many things to correct in ourselves? So this just makes me feel a bit disappointed. And honestly, I will not be saying that people are hypocrites, because we are all full of weaknesses. I myself, I have so many weaknesses that I'm still fighting against. Life is so hard for everyone. I know that sometimes, despite our good intentions, we tend to really slip. We feel hurt, we feel wounded, we feel like we cannot carry the pain anymore. It's so intense that we have to vent. We have to we are obsessed with the idea of revenge and of hurting people who have hurt us, but we are not going to gain anything from that. And I don't think Allah would love you for you to do that, to just answer evil with evil. It's not the philosophy of Islam. It's not compatible. So every time I go in a funeral or someone close to me has died, I feel like such a huge wake-up call, like something inside me is shaken terribly, and I feel like I am happy that at the idea of meeting Allah when I will die. That's the biggest, happiest news anyone can have. I think as a Muslim, that's the beautiful thing of being Muslim. Like, death is not an end; it's just a beginning. But at the same time, when you think of your life, like how there are so many things which you are doing which you should not be doing, or which you are not doing but you should be doing, but then you keep focusing on other people rather than focusing on yourself. So may Allah help us all. I know it's not easy. I know that we try our best to be a good human being, a good parent, a good child, a good spouse, or whatever it is, a good employee, a good neighbor. But then sometimes we are so ill, so hurt ourselves, so wounded, so depressed, that we just don't have any energy, any positivity left in ourselves. But that's where we need to be careful. We need to ask Allah for help, and ask Allah to not let us become embittered, because that's exactly what Shaitan wants. Shaitan wants you to just think negatively and have hatred for each other, and just be separated from each other, alienate yourself and just break ties with everyone. So that's not going to happen. Stay firm, be patient, and do your salat, and just think of Allah all the time and think only of good things. Inshallah, we will be successful in this world and the hereafter. Ameen. Thanks for being here.